Well, we were meant to be working out in the shop today on some more rack stuff and that, but instead of it being 70 and sunny like it was yesterday, this is what we're dealing with. Montana, what the hell? Snow? Really? 70 yesterday, snow today. That's Montana for you. So, instead of working on racks and whatnot, we're gonna head down into the snake room. I got more stuff to do anyway. Today is cleaning day. So we're gonna go ahead and walk you through what my process is on turning over all the snake tubs, checking everybody, getting the rat tubs ready, picking out frozen feeders that we're gonna need for those that take frozen, and plan on feeding, because feeding day is usually tomorrow, day after cleaning day. So much for this. Let's head downstairs into the snake room and do some cleaning. Here we go. All right, let's do some cleaning. So normal cleaning day in that I go through, even if the snake tubs have been turned over in the last couple of days, I do them all top to bottom every Tuesday, or every Monday rather, once a week. And so we'll go through all those, we'll make sure everybody's clean, healthy. We'll document if anybody's starting to shed, because they won't eat that week. Update waters, clean their bowls, make sure everything's good to go. And we'll do weights too. I also weigh everybody on cleaning day, whether they're empty or not, it's material to me. So we'll do that, and then we gotta do the rats at the same time. So we'll go through them, I'll show you what I do, my methods for everything. This is by no means a this is how you do it video by any stretch. This is how I do it. And so the whole point of this channel is to bring you guys along with us in our daily grind and the process of getting from one snake to dozens to babies, you know. Everybody does a little differently. This is our way. So I generally just start with pretty much, I kind of run through the tub and through the racks in the same order, it seems like. These, by the way, for those that are curious, I'm using it to kind of block out, because my tubs obviously are clear. I'm trying to block out the light, and actually for that matter, from each other, so they don't see. And the reason is because my blackhead lesser male has not eaten yet, and I've been talking to the breeder I got him from, and it sounds like it's partially because of the clear tub and that. So I took him out. This is that 3 high I was working on. I took him out of the little one there that's got back heat. I'm not a huge fan of back heat. Put him in here, and so he's got belly heat now, which is obviously another change. And so if he wasn't comfortable before, now we're adding changes in that. So it's nice and dark up there for him. And then the other one here is my scaleless head female, Persephone. And we just have her dark because she's really tub defensive. Not mean by any means, and is not aggressive, just defensive about her tub. And a lot of times, hasn't done it in a while, but a lot of times when you're walking by in front of the tubs, she'll strike at it just by the movement. So we put that up just to keep her calm too. Helps her eat, everybody's doing great. So that answers that. So yeah, we'll just start with these girls. I'll put you guys down here in a second and just kind of do a time lapse of what I'm doing, but I'll just start from the top down. This one tells me that she ate last week, and in the case of down here, this means that she ate live last week. So I know that I can defrost a frozen for her because she ate frozen. This tells me that I've noticed that she's going into shed or is in shed or should be done with shed at any moment. So we'll check on that. This was the weight last week. Again, I don't know if it's empty or full. Quite honestly, I don't care. As long as I see over a long period of time, this number continue to rise. So yeah, so we'll start up here usually, and typically I'll pull the tub all the way out. But yeah, let's check for everything. The humidity, this is just moisture because she gets in here and gets this wet. I use Reptichip in the big tubs and paper in most of the little ones now. But we'll take the waters out, dump them, clean the bowls, check her over. We usually take all the girls out, or we take all the snakes out and look them over good. And then we'll take all the bedding out completely, clean it with chlorhexidine solution, weigh the snake, new bedding, fresh water, so on and so forth. So I'm gonna set you guys up over here. I'll start with her and see what we're doing. And just real quick too, I wanted to point out something. I get comments on this occasionally on Facebook or on Instagram and on one of the earlier videos that said, hey man, you're not doing your quarantine, you're unboxing snakes in your snake room, this, that, and the other. Here's the deal on that. I completely agree with the quarantine policy, believe me. I've seen rescue animals, and we've got some rescues for sure. I've seen rescue animals that are covered in mites, that are terrible, this, that, and the other. And it doesn't matter, in all honesty, it doesn't matter how good of the breeder is that you're getting them from. But in the case of our collection here, we've been working on building this collection over the last 30 to 60 days, 90 days at the most, in all honesty. So we made the decision that this room is quarantined until we finish getting everybody here that we were supposed to be getting. Problem with living up in Montana and buying a lot of this stuff in the winter, obviously, we couldn't get them shipped. So on our board, the pink sticky notes and 2 others that are not up there are still waiting to be shipped. Partially for weather, partially because they still need to be paid off, the whole 9 yards. So the entire room is under quarantine as far as I'm concerned. We disinfect and clean everything to the best of our ability. We check everybody 3-4 times a day. There are no mites, there are no bugs, there are no respiratory infections. Everybody is beautifully healthy. Everybody sheds in solid pieces. So we're keeping it that way for now. Once everybody shows up and the racks are full, not necessarily full, but full with everybody that we're supposed to have, all the animals we're supposed to have, then at that point, the 60 to 90 day rule, whatever you believe in, at that point that will kick in for this room, and nothing else will be brought in to here until they have also gone through that time period. So if we buy something, say at Tinley in October, they will not come in here right away, obviously. I'm gonna build another one of these 3 high stacks for a quarantine area that will either be in a different room down here or upstairs. And if we pick something up, we're talking about getting a different animal that has nothing to do with ball python breeding, a different snake. If we get that, or we get stuff from Tinley, some more breeder stuff, whatever the case may be, they will go in that rack elsewhere for 60 days or so before they get brought into here. But for the time being, this entire room is that quarantine period, and once everybody gets delivered and everybody is set up and up and running, then we'll start the 60-day clock or 90-day clock, whatever we choose, and this will be the quarantine. Once that 60 to 90-day period is over, nothing comes in without a quarantine elsewhere. So I just want to make that clear, answer some questions about it. I do absolutely believe you should do the quarantine, but since we've just been constantly getting new stock over the last handful of weeks, it would be impossible, quite honestly, impossible in this house, in this living arrangement, to have separate quarantines every single time something showed up. So we just made the decision to do a quarantine that just happens to be the snake room currently, but won't be in the future. So with that out of the way, let's go ahead and start doing tubs. Alright, so here's how I do this. So we got Kiki here. I don't know if you can tell in the camera, but she is definitely in shed this week. Hasn't shed out yet. She's starting to clear up, so I'm assuming it'll be pretty soon. So I'll take the waters, and I just keep a 5-gallon bucket in here to dump them. I'll wipe these out and clean it. The scale's set to 0. Keeks is about as big as I can get in this bowl, but we'll set her in here real quick. Come here. All right, so she's in there and that's centered, and we're looking at 2,569 grams. She was 2,294 last week. Again, I'm not too worried about that change. All that honestly is what that tells me is that she has not pooped since I fed her last week, which is true. So we'll take her 2569. And then I just have an auxiliary tub down here with nothing in it. It's one of my 32s. So because I'm working by myself here, usually Mixology wife would hold her. She's at work today, so I'll just put her in the auxiliary tub. That's also on heat, so nothing to worry there. So it should be comfortable. Depends on the condition of the Reptichip. In all honesty, this is in really good shape. There's not a bunch of urine and poo and whatnot in here. So what I'm actually doing is I'm collecting this and just saving it in a tub. I'm going to use it in a flower garden later on. We use I showed you this a couple weeks ago, a chlorhexidine solution. Just spray down inside, wipe it down really good with the paper towels, and the tub will be ready to be put back in with more substrate. Take a big scoop of this, put it in her tub, and then I just put enough to just cover the bottom. I don't want it crazy thick. They end up moving it around so that they can get to the plastic, you know, where the hot spot is and that anyway. So it doesn't need to be huge. So, usually one scoop works really well for these big tubs. Okay, so that's ready to go. Put our water back in. We'll grab our flamingo pitcher. Fill it up with some fresh water. Now we can go ahead and put her tub back in. So let's go ahead and grab Kiki, my big girl. This girl's a sweetheart. And we'll let her go back in her cage. There you go. Okay. And there we go. So that's what a normal cleaning looks like for us. Alright, so all the snake tubs are done. Everybody's on clean, new waters and that. We put all of the small ones on paper this time. Took out all of the Reptichip for that. I had to make up a new block of Reptichip, and that footage got erased because the camera ran out of memory. So I was going to show you that. I will link in the video description below, and hopefully in the little card, which should be I guess up here, Justin Kobylka's video. Maybe I can't get up there, I don't know. I'll link Justin's video on prepping the Reptichip block, because that's where I got the information from, and it's really good. Anyway, so the snake tubs are all done. Everybody's nice and happy and clean. Like I said, a quarantine room for the time being. I am gonna do the rats, but for me that will probably be tomorrow. So it'll still be up next in this video, but I'm gonna wait and do that one tomorrow. After I've fed all of them, that way I can have the rats out and about. So yeah, there we go. Let me show you a couple just real quick, and we can go on and head out. This is Mr. Theodore, Champagne, Mojave, Yellow Belly, 100% het hypo. Got some cool plants for him. See, nice and clean tub. I keep the hides until they're about 500 grams or so. They don't seem to fit much after that. My girl Maggie, same thing. Calico Inchy Pin, female, really sweet girl. A little bit timid, but not too bad. So anyway, that'll do it for the snake tubs. When you come back, we'll do the rat tubs. So I will see you guys tomorrow, which of course for you will be right now. All right, everybody, so you can see we've got the third rat rack in that we built last week. All of the colonies, the 5, not this one, it's actually that one, I moved them around. The 5 colonies are in that we had on the bottom. So you want to check this out there. They're all set up, ready to go, and we're going to show you now. I got to go through and clean the other tubs, but I want to get them all set up. I'll show you what I use and how much of it. But 1.4 in each tub, nothing in the bottom. Obviously the water system, I'll put the video out for that before too long. But yep, these are our 5 new colonies here. The bottom tubs I leave empty in case I need them for overflow or feeders, stuff like that. So what we're gonna do now is go through these 2 racks, take all of the rats out. That's what the tub here is for, to hold them while we clean the tubs. Dump the bedding and put in new bedding and start over. I'll show you what I use and all of that. We'll feed everybody. I use a softwood pine pellet bedding. This is usually designed for horse stalls and that. You can get it at any of your local feed stores and that. We use that, and then I use a kiln dried softwood shaving. This is a pressure pack. There's 10 pounds here, I think, something like that. But this whole bag will fill 3 of these 72 quart tubs. And then this is the circus part here. So I'm gonna take all of the parents and put them in this tub just to hold them while I clean. Oh, I dropped a pup. So they'll go in here. And then I'll put the pups in this little tub. That way I can count them too and make sure everybody's healthy and I can see what sizes we have, stuff like that. Alright, so there's the little guy that we lost that ran away. So I'm going to go ahead and dump this. I'll be right back and I'll show you what I put in each one of these. Alright, so we got the tub cleaned out. I just rinsed it, cleaned it with the same chlorhexidine solution that I clean all the snake tubs with. Make sure it's all up and running. So now is what we're going to use. The pine pellets, I keep them, obviously I keep both of the beddings in these tubs. I just have this big scooper from one of the hardware stores, whatever. I use, in these tubs in particular, 2 full scoops of pellets. So like so. And this just helps to absorb the urine and cut down on the smell. One thing that I've gotten compliments on by people that come into the room are surprised when they realize that there's rats in here because I can't smell it. It's a big part of having this in my house. So two big scoops of the pellets, and then I use 3 heaping scoops of the bedding. That just seems to give enough thickness that they can bed down in it and make little nests and whatnot. And it's also thick enough and tall enough that the little pups can reach the grating on top to get to the food. So we'll do that. We'll even all this out a little bit. I keep a block of just a piece of 2x4 in here. It gives them something to chew on so they don't chew on the tub. And we're going to go ahead and put the pups back in. So I'm going to go ahead and set this up in here now. Grab the parents. And for those that are wondering, they were in this tub less than 5 minutes. And the tub has air holes in it, so it's not a big deal. It doesn't harm them at all, and the room is still cool enough that they don't get overheated. All right, so everybody's back in their tub, all happy and clean. I'll go through, I'll do all the rest of them, come back, and I always top the food off when I'm done, and then that's it. It's the same thing for the snake tubs as the rat tubs, really. Nothing else much changes there. I typically do all of these all at the same time on usually Monday is cleaning day for us, but I'm a little bit behind schedule right now trying to get this rack built. So yeah, I'll clean all the snake tubs, then I'll clean all the rat tubs, and I can clean the room, make sure it's good to go. But if you guys have any questions on the rat breeding, the rack, the watering system, if that video is not out already for the watering system, it will be very soon. As you know, the rat breeding construction video ran a lot longer than I was planning on. Everything's going really well in here. I'm gonna go ahead and keep cleaning. I'll see you guys next week. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Comment down below what you think about the breeding stuff. If you have any questions, send them to me either on here or on Instagram, either way. Again, if you build a rack or you start your own breeding project or you get your own snakes in that, tag us on Instagram at Mixology, #MartiniSnake. That's our handle. I'll see all that stuff there. And until next time, see you guys later.